This episode of The Horror Show is brought to you by Patreon member Stephen Taylor and his awesome kids, Mars and Annalise. Thank you all so much for your generous donation. We really appreciate it. And we've got Street Trash coming up. Our Summer of Splatter has been a little not so splattery, but that's about to change huge with the next two movies. So enjoy Street Trash. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe. Where's Paul?
How excited. Oh, I forgot. Paul's supposed to be here, and he's not because it's Paul. Thanks, Paul, for promising people. We should bring Paul back next week, though, don't you think?
Do we have to?
No.
Isn't next week Bad Taste?
Well, yeah, I guess in 2 weeks. If you want to be so fucking particular. Yeah. So maybe Paul will be back. We're not sure. I'm so excited to talk about this movie and next week's movie. I'm so fucking excited.
Me too.
This is going to be awesome. This was picked by Tiffany Sousa. Tiff Seuss, Dr. Sousa. Thank you so much for picking Street Trash, 1987.
Honestly, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You had never seen this before?
Never. It's been on my watch list like for years.
Same.
And I've just never gotten around to it.
I'm so upset that I haven't.
Same. I should have been waving this flag for like the last 10 years.
I mean, it was just really fun. This had 4 plots going on at the same time.
Okay.
And somehow, by a shoestring, just tied it all together. There's a point where, towards the end of the movie, I was like, I wish there was more of the drink. And then as soon as I thought that, they brought it back in. I was like,
well,
okay.
Yeah, because at the end, I mean, so I really like this movie. I love it. But you were over the moon about it.
Yeah, I mean...
But here's my
It's not a 5-star classic. It was fucking... It was
nice
amazing. Little gem.
It was amazing. It's amazing. But my problem with it was that you forget all about the drink. And you're like, wait a minute. Because I did the same thing. I was like, wait a minute. Was this about a fucking toxic drink that melts people? And then at the end, they're just like, oh yeah, hey, remember that drink?
It comes back around. They introduce
so much
a mafia.
Dude, a mafia storyline.
Can I just jump to the end? Did you stay for the credits?
Yeah, the funniest, dude, Marvel post-credit sequence.
Did you hear the song?
Yes.
Fucking that guy's singing. Are you kidding me?
Oh, man, I'm so excited. This is the Summer of Splatter, and this is the first real splatter movie. Actually, after watching this and Bad Taste, I was like, we should probably do 2 more real splatter movies.
Had you seen Bad Taste before?
Only parts. And it was, I'll save it, obviously.
Yeah, spoiler alert for the next one. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it more than I did months ago.
I'm obsessed with it. But more is both of these movies to me are I don't know how to explain it. They should almost be taught in film school because of what they accomplish.
For this movie, did you get the budget for it?
No,
I don't think there was one. It can't be. They restored this very nicely.
Yes, they restored it really nicely.
Watch the original trailer.
The Blu-ray is amazing.
This is just It was directed by someone who was James Cameron's right-hand man.
Yes, Morrow. Jim Morrow. Yeah, Jim Morrow.
Bryan Singer
was a grip on it. And then it's written by Roy Frumkes, who wrote The Substitute. He wrote tons of shit, but The Substitute probably being the biggest, I guess, draw.
That's what separates this from movies like Sick, because it had talented people on board.
Right. And I would even argue with Bad Taste. Like, Bad Taste, I think, is a better example because this had some money behind it. Like, if you look at
Bad Taste had nothing.
Bad Taste had nothing.
Low budget as can be.
And it also, I think it just proves that Peter Jackson might be, like, a legitimate genius. Like, a genius.
I want to say something about...
I know. We got to... Okay, well, let's get off of it. All this shit is amazing.
So I've seen, like, a lot of criticism for Street Trash.
Wait, but before you finish that, lock that thought up for a second. I just want to say this because this has to do with these low budget movies that we're talking about. So we've done Lumberjack Man and something else, but in one of those movies we talked about what the cheapest movie ever made was, and we got an email.
Nice
From Ben Wright, and he said, "You wondered out loud about this. That's what we do on the show. We wonder out loud. That's a really good way to put it because we'll be like, hey, what's that? And we don't have an answer. We'll just be like, huh. It's an interesting question."
He says, we wonder out loud what the cheapest movie was. Then he sent you his homemade porn.
No, about this at the end of your examination of Lumberjack Man. And while this is probably a little bit of a cop-out, because as Joe puts it, this is a digitally shot piece of shit, my candidate for the cheapest movie ever made is called Colin, a 2008 British zombie film supposedly made for £47, which breaks down to about 69 American dollars.
No.
If you're not familiar with the film, it looks like it was shot on, I can't even call it a shoestring budget. That would be an insult to shoestrings, budgets, and anything else even remotely connected with filmmaking. It makes the cardboard knight armor in Murder Party look like Hicks Colonel Marine armor in Aliens.
You're trying to tell me that this movie was made for $69. That's like...
He ultimately says like the concept's kind of cool, but the movie is unwatchable.
Of course it's unwatchable. That can't even cover like the gas for everybody.
Can't cover anything. Oh shit!
Are we gonna watch it?
Huh?
We're gonna watch it.
Probably.
We have to, right?
So do you remember what you were gonna say?
No.
Oh, you were saying. Some people don't like.
Yeah, but I forgot the point I was gonna make.
Sorry.
So how about that?
So look at that. So we were talking about cheap movies. And you were saying some people shit on Street Trash.
I mean, didn't this remind you of Trauma in a way?
My thought on this,
I don't know what
should have been my review
from Trauma.
So this is the best Trauma movie never made.
Yes, I agree with that.
Like Trauma could never make this or never did, but this is the best Trauma movie. Like this is Trauma in every aspect. Dude, fart noises while like guys are walking.
Yep.
But for some reason it was different in this. It was like well done.
I don't understand what exactly separates it, but it was.
It was, right? Like it was the same crazy, like honestly, they had to have watched Trauma movies and been like, I want to make that. Like I want to make something like that. And then made this because Dude, the
That's
farting.
What I was gonna say. People. I saw a lot of negative reviews because they're like, it's gross. Like the people are despicable. The people are like rude. I mean, the movie has trash in its title. That's exactly what you're getting. Like these people are terrible people. Yeah. They're despicable. They're gross. They're
That's
grimy.
the reason I wanted to watch it.
Same.
Dude, it's called Street Trash. I was like,
and it's about street trash.
Dude, this is going to be like the G.G. Allen of movies. Yeah. Like,
stupid,
not to bring up G.G. Allen.
I'm glad they were all melting. Like, those people deserve
Exactly. Roy Frumkes, who was a writer, who was a teacher of one of our fans. Did you see that? Our friend Hansi.
Oh, yes, I did see this.
He was a professor of hers in New York City. He wrote this, and he also said about this movie, I wrote it to democratically offend every group on the planet.
I saw that. And you know what? He did a good job.
He did a really good job.
Also, some of the dialogue, like with I forget. Did these characters even have names?
They did, and I actually...
The guy stuffing the chicken down his pants.
Oh, I don't know his name. I called him Gas Mask Man.
Him and the manager of that store's dialogue was really good.
Dude, it was so funny. There's a lot of dialogue that's good to decent.
Agree.
Like for what this is.
For a movie about bums melting.
Like that is the movie. And not even melting realistically. It's fucking purple and
so bright.
Which is also awesome. The aesthetics are amazing in this.
So we have the plot line of bums melting, which we already told you about. Then we have like Vietnam.
Oh, like a real serious like take on Vietnam. Everyone's a Vietnam vet in this.
And they all have flashbacks and they're all like having PTSD.
Yeah.
And then we have the mafia one.
Then we have the mafia.
And then there's just the whole like homeless subculture of
the homeless subculture
living in Brooklyn in the 80s.
And then you even have the fucking junkyard.
Yes.
Storyline of the woman and the guy that owned the junkyard.
Yes.
I think there's even another storyline.
There's a misogynistic piece of shit. Everyone in this movie is
the worst.
Yes.
The worst you could possibly be. Even the woman is bad because she's kind of taking advantage of a child in this flick. You know what I mean? Like that made me uncomfortable. I wasn't like, I hope they get together.
No,
I was like, this is fucking weird.
All these people were terrible.
Yeah, and it really captures New York City. I don't know if this is supposed to take place in New York City.
Brooklyn.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, because it looks, I mean, it was.
Nothing's changed.
No, I mean, yeah. Oh, boy. We're actually watching it now because I was like, I need to watch this while we talk about it. We haven't watched the movie we've talked about in like forever, but I had to do it. And we haven't even talked about this fucking movie yet. So let's get into street trash. Street trash.
Just celebrated its 30th birthday.
Good for them.
No, it didn't. September 16th. It will celebrate its 30th birthday.
Did you know melt movies is a thing? Melt movies?
People melt?
Yeah. It's like a genre.
No.
Melt movies.
What else is in it?
I don't know. Somebody on Twitter posted it that said there's a movie called Body Melt.
I've heard of Body Melt.
Yeah. And I think that's in the genre.
I mean, yeah.
But it's just about people that melt.
What'd you call it? Melt movies?
Melt movies.
Melt movie list. About people that melt. The Incredible Melting Man.
That sounds like a 50s movie.
It's
I'm not
70s,
watching it.
70s.
Yeah, no, I'm not watching
The Blob. Oozing with Charm. My top 5 melt movies. Oh, dude, The Devil's Reign's in this. Great movie.
Is there melting in it?
It's all they spent their budget on. Nothing. And then like the last 20 minutes, it's just people's faces melting. John Travolta's in it. William Shatner.
No.
For like 2 seconds each. Ernest Borgnine. I love that movie. The H-Man.
That sounds stupid.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Melt movies. All your melt movies in one place. All the melt movies fit to print. When is a good month to do all melt movies?
Probably now. I mean,
Probably we're
hot.
melting.
Yeah. Did anyone melt in Bad Taste? I feel like they did. Maybe.
I don't even know, man. Dude, okay. I can't even talk about... I love both of these movies. I'm so excited to talk about both of them.
It's the
but
most
Bad
enjoyable.
Taste, I have like... I'm just like blown away by Bad Taste. I've never seen a movie make so little sense, yet make perfect sense. It was insane. Oh, actually, this one's pretty close to making no sense and making perfect sense.
No, that's what I'm saying.
There's no story.
But there's like 5. Like there's none, but there's 5, and it works. I didn't like hate myself. Like any other person made this movie, I would fucking hate it.
Could you imagine an hour and 40 minutes of nonsense, like jumping around and changing stories?
Yeah, you'd watch it all the time, and they suck.
But like this was like I like literally enjoyed my like every minute of watching.
Yes,
it was so.
It has
weird.
like that magic.
It was so weird. This is like the gang from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia in movie form. Okay, so let's get into this. Straight up, we just get the title card: Street Trash, yellow letters, black card. It's amazing. Liquor store owner. A bum sneaks in behind him, gets farted in his face. We start, dude, like already you're like, okay, this is a trauma flick. Like, how did trauma not make this? Like, it's insane. But yeah, so that's to set up that these bums love booze. As if you didn't know already. No offense to the bums.
He steals one. The bum.
He steals one. He steals a bottle and runs away.
A chase ensues. Guy's screaming, "I'll kill you!"
And we get like this huge epic credit sequence.
And the guy runs like the guy sneaks into somebody's house like through the fire escape, and you're just full frontal nudity,
dude.
Bush dicks,
dicks are flop, and they're running downstairs. So like, there's some extra flop. A little more than I need.
This is the first minute.
The first minute, yeah. So so you got bums, thievery, and full frontal nudity in the first minute, and you're just like, well, and people are gonna melt based on the art cover. So you're like, this is gonna be fucking bananas. Yeah. Like, this is out of control.
Yeah, basically, I should just start like judging my movies within the first 5 minutes. If my wife just goes, "Oh my god," and I know I'm gonna like it.
If a man farts in a bum's face. So the bum stole some money. He escapes with the money, jumps in a fucking garbage truck.
Yeah.
Barely escapes as it's like closing in on him, and he loses the money, right? Mm-hmm. And they show the money, and it's like $4, right?
Yeah.
Then we cut to this guy who will be
Can I ask you something?
Our villain. What's that?
What the fuck kind of hat is that this guy's wearing?
An asshole hat. From the asshole store, which I think we've discussed before.
It's in Tennessee.
This guy shops at the asshole store in Tennessee. He looks like a fucking jerk. He looks like a jerk job mutt. Did you like this guy, the main character, Freddy?
I don't like any of these guys.
No, I didn't either. I mean, the kid was the best one, right? Because the kid was like, hey, get a job.
I think I might have figured out who he looks like, so keep talking. Because it's not going to make sense to anybody.
All of these, like a ton of these people felt familiar to me. Like, it was interesting.
Sean, this connection I'm about to make is so stupid.
I hope it's him. So we meet our main villain, who I forget his name. Do you remember his name? It begins with like oh yeah, you don't know anybody's name. Bronson. Our villain's name is Bronson. He's this big, hulking Vietnam vet, big beard, like tattered clothes, but he looks enormous. Like he's huge. And he's got like a dead girl on his lap, and he's just sitting on like a homeless person throne. It's like the Game of Thrones throne for homeless people.
In a junkyard.
Yeah, but here's the weirdest part about this whole thing. Somebody's like, yo, that guy took my money. Like one of his like henchmen. He's like, that guy Freddy took my money. And he's like, fucking kill him, get my money. But it's so weird that the bums have this like crime ring that makes no money. Right?
Right.
Like, they're organized crime in this. Like, the homeless people are a group of organized crime in this.
That report to this one guy.
They're a gang.
But they don't do anything.
And they make no money. And they're about to kill somebody over $4.
Yeah.
He's like, get that fucking like, it's some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. Like, that's probably the biggest, like, hole in this story. Is like, why would anybody listen to this fucking guy? He's not paying you.
I mean, he's terrifying.
Oh, that's true.
He can rip off limbs.
And he can rip off limbs, and he has a knife made of a femur bone.
That's nuts. That's why they listen to him.
Yeah, I guess so.
Why would you not?
And he has a dead woman on his lap.
And he's just fucking insane.
It's so weird. So we cut to the liquor store, though. Back to the liquor store. The owner's like looking through the basement for something. We don't really know what it is, but he finds this old ass rotten box full of a liquor called Tenafly Viper.
Yes.
It's this like a night train style drink.
Yes. You were very mad at me for using.
I am. Now I just want to talk about the movie. Okay. So I just wanted to talk about bum wine. Joe and one of our fans, Ryan, were just talking about bum wine online. And I was just like, guys, we just shut the fuck up. I want to talk about bum wine on the show. And then they were like, oh, okay. And then like 6 hours later that night, somebody starts it again and it's like, hey, look at this bum wine thing I found. And I was like, I was going to talk about that. Like, you fucking assholes. Bumwine.com. Have you ever been to this website?
Of course not.
Bumwine.com is one of my favorite websites. I show it to anyone that'll go look. And this guy reviews bum wines, and he's been doing it for years. And it is so funny. He reviews Thunderbird, and it is one of the funniest things that I've ever read in my life.
How many bum wines have you tried?
2, I think. I've tried Night Train.
Of course.
Yeah. And I've tried Cisco.
Oh, yeah. Those are the 2.
Yeah. Thunderbird I never heard of until this site, and it was so funny.
I heard they're fabulous.
Yes. So here's their quick review on Thunderbird. Disguised like Night Train, the label says that it is made by Thunderbird Limited. If your taste buds are shot and you need to get trashed with the quickness, then T-Bird is the drink for you. Or if you like to smell your hand after pumping gas, look no further than Thunderbird. As you drink on, the bird soars higher while you sink lower. The undisputed leader of the 5 in foulness of flavor. We highly discourage drinking this ghastly mixture of unknown chemicals unless you really are a bum. A convenience store clerk in Show Low, Arizona, once told me that only the oldest of stumbling drunks from the reservation by Thunderbird. So there you go. Sounds like a blast, huh? So that's bumwines.com. But that's all I could think about when I watched this, because like I was like, oh, fucking bum wine is so weird. Like, it's such a weird industry to be in. Like, imagine like being the CEO of Thunderbird. Like, you know what you're selling.
I mean, they have to be.
Like, do you think they're like,
someone else?
We're gonna...
No, I don't think that at all.
Set the world on fire. We just need one more ingredient to make this better. So Tenafly Viper is that.
That thing reminded me of Return of the Living Dead, like the shit just buried away in the basement.
Very much. So he pulls this Tenafly Viper out and he like dusts it off and he's like, I'll just sell it to the bums. Which, what a guy. Because he's like, I don't care. Like, he's like, this is going to taste like shit. Like, he's talking out loud. And he's like, this is going to be terrible. I'll just sell it to the bums. He lets us know all of that out loud. We cut to this homeless group. A bunch of them. They look like they're from fucking Mad Max. They've got like gas masks.
That's exactly
and
what I thought of.
Like bumpers on like hanging from their neck. It was insane. And Bronson shows up and stops a car. Like, they're all doing that thing where they stop the car and try and clean it to try and get you to...
The cars are stopped and they're just in the way, like spitting on it and like wiping the windshield. And they're like, no, I don't want it wiped.
So gross. And Bronson is just standing next to this open window, like Paul facing this guy.
With this nerd?
With his wife. And the wife's like, just go. And no one's blocking him. And he's like, no, let me just talk to him. And he's like, thank you for your service, sir. And Bronson's just staring at him. And you're like... Just fucking drive away. That guy's going to kill you. And he does. He pulls him out of the car and smashes his head through a windshield.
Through the windshield.
It was amazing. It was so amazing. Blood is everywhere. Freddie, our lead guy with the stupid hat, he's talking to this guy about the money that got stolen.
Says he hasn't had a decent bowel movement in a month.
He starts talking. He's like, what you do is you put a little fiber in your liquor. But some guy steals Tenafly Viper, one of the other, one of our other homeless people. There's so many homeless people in this. It's so hard to like explain. So this other homeless guy steals the Tenafly Viper. And he goes into a toilet.
You just call it Viper, I think.
Viper? Dude, I literally, do you know, in my notes, I didn't switch to just Viper until like the last 5 minutes of
I was just like, why are you saying that big word?
Because I wrote it 100 times. I don't know why I did it though. It was so weird. He takes his Viper, and goes and sits on a toilet in the middle of Brooklyn. It's like outside. It's so weird.
I mean, where else is he going to go?
And he drinks it.
That's probably the nicest thing any bum has done in Brooklyn.
You're probably right. Actually used a facility.
Yeah. I've seen, did you ever see a video of people eating at a restaurant and some bum just puts their butt right against the glass and just shits and it just slowly slides down?
Yes, it's fucking vile. It's so bad. It's so bad. So this guy drinks the Viper in the toilet stall, and there's no wait when you drink the Viper to when you melt. There's no like, ooh, I feel weird.
No, it kicks in immediately.
As soon as it touches your lips, you just start melting.
Yeah, no, it's not even like it's as soon as you swallow it.
Yeah.
Because the guy takes a sip, swallows it, and it's just
instantly.
And it's so thick.
Dude, it is so vile, and it's so colorful.
It's what goes along with bad taste next week, too, is that everything is so thick. And blood... Like gallons and gallons of blood doesn't bother me, but if something has that consistency,
like
it
melted
turns my
ice cream.
stomach.
Like it's fucking nasty, and you just look at it and you're like, that stinks. Like that's gotta stink.
I think I wrote in my notes, Sean, at this part, I wish this movie came with like a scratch and smell around. Yeah.
It's like this most neon colored blood. It's so vibrant.
Side note, you know John Waters, right?
Yeah.
Did you know he created a movie with smell-o-vision?
No.
I need to find like a preserved copy.
Like we'd have to find like a 35 millimeter. Let's write them.
No, I mean I want the smell, like the scratches. It came with scratches. So like at certain points, you like scratch and sniff it.
Let's talk to him about doing a screen.
Clearly, just stuck his finger up his ass, and smeared it all over. Like who would let John Waters do a smell scratch and sniff?
Did it say what the smells were?
I didn't look. I was too blown away by the fact that happened, and people like. I just want to picture like unsuspecting people going to the movies and just getting that. It'd be like the jelly beans that we ate.
Yes, 100%. So this guy's dead in a toilet, but it doesn't matter. We don't even.
He's like flushing himself too.
Dude, yeah, and then he's like a little Belial in the toilet, like it's just his face, and he's just like.
He's on the cover.
Yes, he is the cover art. We cut to the junkyard where we meet some more fucking characters. More characters in this goddamn movie. Dude, when they introduced the mafia angle, I was like, I can't do any more people. I can't.
I'm so glad they introduced those guys.
I am too. But it was at that moment, I was like, are you fucking joking right now? So we meet Wendy, who works at the junkyard. She's got a crush on a homeless child. I don't know his name. He's the brother of Freddy, though.
Yeah.
If this is confusing, yeah.
Sure.
It should be.
Because like you said, there's so many.
It's insane. And these, we learn that these homeless people are living in a giant pile of tires. Yep. So it's kind of like this. He's like the Frodo Baggins of the junkyard. Frodo Trashbaggins.
Who, the fat guy? Frodo Trashbaggins?
No, kid. Because he lives in like inside.
Which one, Freddy or the brother?
The brother.
That's funny because I think Freddy's hat also looks like Gandalf.
Oh, shit.
I can't come up with a pun to beat the one that you just
Gandalf?
Said. Trash Gandalf.
Trash They just put Trash Gandalf. Fuck. Oh my God. Okay, and then instead of the Shire, we'll call it
the Tire.
The Tire Shire. Oh, the tire works too. Frodo Trashbaggins living in the Tire Shire.
I like it.
Why are we? This should be a fucking movie. Troma will make that one. Giant piece of shit. So anyway, we meet this girl. She's helping out the homeless people in this junkyard. The guy owns a junkyard, just sexually abuses and harasses her regularly, I guess. I guess that's their relationship.
First of all, he's a disgusting piece of shit. And like, as soon as you're introduced to him, he's just screaming at her, and she's like, I'm going to do this. He's like, that's typical feminine bullshit. Yeah. Like, wow. What a dickhead.
Dude, and he's like, why are you helping them? She's like, because they're homeless. He's like, well, don't do it on my watch, which I respect that. But I mean, don't do it while you're working.
Sure, okay.
You have a job. You do it after. And that's what he says. He's like, do it after. I don't give a shit. But then he like tries to rape her, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not defend this guy too much.
I mean, this guy is a giant piece of garbage. It's just so weird, though, because like, he doesn't try to rape her until much later in the movie. Like, and it's done so weirdly. I don't know. It's just so weird. But in this opening scene, when we're first introduced to him, they both are like he's like, I can't wait to rape you later. She's like, I fucking hate when you try and rape me. And then, like, you're like, wow, that's weird. And then later it happens. You're like, why are you working there? It's so fucking weird. So Freddy and the gas mask guy goes and saves him. I think another bum was trying to hurt him. Everyone's after this $4 that this fucking guy stole. As if it's like just find it, whatever. But the bounty bum, the bum that's on the bounty hunt for this guy, he goes and buys some Tenafly Viper. Viper. This guy is one of the most amazing actors I've ever seen because he is playing crazy homeless to a T. Like, to a point where I felt unsettled being around him. Like, I was like, this guy isn't an actor.
Isn't his first line? I was like, shit.
Dude, I was laughing. I was crying because he's talking crazy. He talks for like 4 minutes and I had no idea what he said. He was just like, bleh, 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 bleh. And you were like, and the guy running the shop was like the perfect New York shop owner because he's like, yup, whatever you say, buddy. Whatever you say. And he's just like, bleh, 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 bleh. And then he walks away. The guy walks away and he's like, shit. And then he does this. Dude, it was so like crazy. It was like a crazy homeless person. Like I've encountered this in New York City. Like where you're like, oh, thank God he's gone. And then he just cranes his neck back like a cartoon. And then he looks at the guy and goes, shit, pal. and then he just walks out and he's going, and then he goes, get a job to the guy that he just bought liquor from.
The guy's working.
That owns the liquor store. Just get a job. It was one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen. Me and Joe have it on, and some guy's walking around with a bag on his head. This movie makes so little sense. It is amazing. It is amazing. Also, the detective work in the detective storyline
coming right now.
Yeah.
So this guy leaves that liquor
one of the
store.
worst cops of all time.
I loved him.
I mean, he is awesome. He was a terrible police officer.
Hard-nosed, like no bullshit. Just wants to fist fight people.
And he does. He does. Yeah, so we're shit, pal. So the cop confronts Bronson outside. Cop confronts that guy, the bum, about Bronson.
They call themselves the Flatbush Foot Brigade.
How did you even figure that out? It is a great name. Very old school. Cop confronts him. He reveals this guy's name.
The cop wants information on who killed the nerd.
Right. And they say, it's this guy Bronson, but that's all he gets. The bum then goes to a condo, to a fire escape, and drinks his fly. His
Cat's
Viper.
Watching him.
I called it fly. Viper drinks his Viper, and he fucking melts.
So he's sitting on...
Oh, this was so good.
Sitting on the fire escape, cat's watching him. He drinks it, and like you said, there's like no time. He just starts melting, and like the pus is going through the crate. And there's a really great shot where it shows his like disgusting bum shoe, which naturally has a hole in it, and the yellow pus just shoots out of that hole, like where his big toe is.
It's really good. Their effects are amazing in this.
Yeah,
and this
and the pus is dripping on people, and it's burning their faces.
What was really gross to me about this was it was super thick. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like watery scrambled eggs, kind of. Like, It's so thick. It's so fucking gross. But it's dripping through the fire escape because obviously those aren't solid. They have holes.
Great use of a fire escape.
Dude, and you're watching it fall so far and splattering on the ground and hearing it. And it's just like this disgusting splat, like as it's dropping on the ground.
Yeah.
Some yuppies... it falls on a yuppie's face and it melts his face.
Yep.
Melts his face clear off.
And that cop that we were just introduced to happens to be standing right there.
Yeah. And is like, basically like, this guy's dead.
And then him and a woman have a terrible back and forth.
It made no sense. So this was an hour and 40 minutes. It should have been an hour and 30. There was plenty to cut out. Okay. The back and forth between him and this woman.
So I thought there was going to, like, at this point, I thought there was going to be like a pro-feminine, like, vibe, and there was not
at all. That woman's like, hey, I forget, her argument was like, oh, she's like, you're not helping him because he's a guy.
Yeah, she wanted to like give a statement, and he's like, get in line. And she's like, why? Because he's a man? Because he put the other person
I
first.
thought she was like, you're not helping him because he's a man. Because that guy's face was melting on the ground.
Oh no, he was going to talk to somebody else first. I mean, there's no way they can help that guy.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's really weird. We cut back to Bronson. He's with this homeless girl. They're so dirty and so gross. Yeah. Like dirty. Like, I mean, they're dirty, vile, but they're also like
they're filthy. They're covered in
dirt. Yeah, it's so gross. And this is Bronson's throne happens to be in the middle of a junkyard that this girl Wendy works at, and somehow everyone's okay with this guy like running a kingdom in the junkyard. I mean, I guess they don't have a choice, right?
Who's gonna tell this guy no?
Not me.
Fucking Vietnam flashbacks constantly.
Yes, and they're terrifying. Bronson's watching Wendy and this kid and clearly getting pissed. He's clearly got a thing for her. Yeah. He also decks his girlfriend. She's like, what are you looking at?
She yelled at him and he's like, don't you yell at me in front of the boys. The boys.
So times.
Those guys suck.
Those guys are the worst.
Get those guys out of there, Bronson. What the fuck are you doing?
Honestly. Bronson, I mean, besides being a psychopathic murderer, seems he could have had a bright career ahead of him.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he had the most going for him.
Well,
Freddy wasn't going to do shit. Freddy's an asshole too. Freddy's
with it though.
But Freddy turned on his kid brother, like for Viper.
That's true. That's true.
There's so much racist bullshit.
No, I think Bronson. To your point, like that's why I like this movie because like you could tell like the characters have like backstory. Like, so I think Bronson probably had a future until he went to the war.
Yeah. Like, okay. Like that's the weird part about this movie too, is like why you can kind of be like, well, except honestly, besides the fucking guy that owns the
shop,
the junkyard. Yeah. Besides that, almost everyone in this, you're like, you don't feel for it, but you're just like, I don't know. You're like, you're sort of sympathetic to them until they do a terrible thing. And then you're like, why'd you do that? But for the most part, you're like, well, that guy's not that bad. Like,
there's only one guy I think's not that bad. It's the guy who steals the chicken.
I love that guy.
That's the man.
Dude, that guy does nothing wrong.
No.
Well, besides shoplifting like millions of dollars worth of merchandise.
Millions.
Which is actually the next scene. Well,
is it?
Yeah, we get a bunch of racist bullshit from Freddy. Freddy's just literally just like, it's like he's going through a joke book of Asian, terrible, horrible Asian racist humor. Like, and he's just reading joke after joke.
Because he's giving his brother shit
for hanging out with this
fancy
girl.
With the yes.
Which why?
Which again, the writer did say he was just trying to piss people off.
Yeah, and that was obvious. He was like, it was literally a joke book, like a 1950s joke book. It was insane. There's a line that I wrote down. I don't know why. It's just so out of place. I just wrote down, you were doing the backstroke in his balls. Don't you remember?
Talking about their dad,
yeah.
Which didn't really come into play ever again. I thought we were going to learn something about their dad.
I did too.
Because did we find out why they're this way?
I actually think we kind of do. So I forget what they say happened, but did their dad lose all their money or something?
The bet?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It was this like convoluted
but it was like they passed over it very quickly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like it was weird. But Gas Mask and Freddy, they discuss going to get more alcohol, and Gas Mask goes to the grocery store and steals everything in sight.
So much raw chicken. So why is the chicken not
funniest scene of all time?
Why is the chicken not in packages? Because it's just raw chicken coming out of the bottom of the pants.
That's the funniest part. Because like clearly they were like, this would be way funnier if the chicken was falling out. Because he takes the package and puts it in, and it's like cellophane wrapped like it is today.
Okay.
But then clearly they were like, it would be so funny if the chicken was hanging out of his pants. Because later on he's walking around and the chicken is raw chicken is coming out of his pants.
Our friend Mike referred to him as Baggins Zaggin Barry's dad. Remember that guy from all that?
Yeah. Dude, it's exactly that. And he's shoving he's shoving giant bags of celery. He picks up a watermelon and you're like, please put the watermelon in your pants. And then he's like, no. So he picks up 2 cantaloupes and puts each of them in his pants. It's insane. He's putting meat in his pants, chicken in his pants.
And he gets into a verbal altercation with this old lady. She's like, you're stealing. He's like, you honky motherfucker.
He says, what are you staring at, bitch? Dude, he's stealing, and you're like, wow, this guy should really play it.
Actually,
cool.
you know what? I take back about what I said. I feel sympathy for him.
No, he's terrible.
Total jerk.
Yeah. But this scene is so funny. I was laughing my ass off. So then he's still walking around, still stealing, and then the old lady returns with the manager, and the manager's like, are you gonna, like, what are you doing, man? Like, this lady said you're stealing, and obviously you're stealing. Look at all the shit in your pants. He's like, I'm not stealing. He's like, there's chicken coming out of your pants.
This is my favorite conversation in that whole movie.
Dude, and it's so long. It's like 5 minutes.
And the guy's like accusing the other guy of being racist, but they're both African Americans.
Dude, it is so funny. Dude, it's so fucking funny. And he's like, not only is he accusing him of being racist, but he's like, I already paid for it. And the guy's like, let me see your receipt. And he hands him a receipt.
He has a receipt that he found on the ground, which I saw him pick that up earlier, and I was like, it didn't click on me. And then when he handed it to me, I'm like, holy shit, that's really smart.
I know.
And the guy's like, this is all dog shit. He's like, it's not my fault. Your person rang it up wrong. He's like, genius.
The guy's like, there's chicken come out of your pants. This is a receipt for dog food. It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yes.
And he never gives up on saying he did not steal.
He is adamant.
The manager's like, all right, then let's go to security and we'll straighten this out.
Like,
and he's like, yes.
I'm going to tell the security on you.
Yeah. He's like, you're going to be in so much fucking trouble.
And then he just puts a bag over his head and walks through the glass. Doesn't even like go through the door. Just busts through the glass and just continues walking down the street.
One of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in my life. Like, how do you not like this movie?
That was gold.
That scene alone holds this movie together. Like, I was laughing my fucking...
Completely agree.
It is 5 minutes of a guy clearly stealing, going, I didn't steal.
Classic young Joe. Get caught in a lie and just double down.
Somebody being like, dude... I'm like, just like, come on. Like,
and the manager is not mad. He's just like,
he's so disappointed.
Yeah.
He's so disappointed. And the old lady's just standing there like, dude, oh man, it's so awesome. Anyway, it's so awesome. So the cop is, I don't know. There's a scene where a cop and this guy, like, I don't know what the fuck. Does it matter? It doesn't matter. But he makes a deal with this younger kid to like go get Bronson, right? Like he's like, this guy knows homeless people. Is he a gigolo?
With the cop?
No, the kid.
The kid.
Guy, yeah.
Oh, the guy he calls it. I don't know what he is. He's just like a covert.
He's like a CO. Like, isn't that what they call them? COs? Or no? I don't know. I was in The Wire. Bubbles is one.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I don't know what they call
They like give info and the cops like don't fuck with them as much.
Right, he's an informant.
Yeah. CI, right?
Sure.
Civil informant. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. I can't wait for somebody to be like, you are so stupid.
Sorry, we don't snitch on this show.
We don't. I have no idea what it is. Don't know what it is. Never will now, motherfuckers. But we will release a diss track explaining what we've done. We don't need people to snitch. We go inside Bronson's head for a little flashback.
Yeah.
That was dark.
It most definitely was.
I don't know what he's even doing. He's like eating people. Like, is he eating Vietnamese people? It was very unclear. But he's beardless, which was cool to see. He doesn't have a beard. So that was interesting.
Golly gee.
Also, beardless Bronson has 0 pecs, but like sticks his chest out.
Yeah, he doesn't lift.
No, not at all. But he is huge. Back in real life, Bronson wakes up and just throws a grenade into the fucking junkyard.
They have a heavy arsenal of grenades.
It's insane.
They have a heavy arsenal of everything.
Could you imagine a grenade going off and everyone in Brooklyn is just like,
Yeah, actually. Especially during that time.
Freddy is still trying to get his hands on some of that sweet, sweet Viper. Every time he gets it, somebody.
We haven't seen the Viper in a while, but they bring it back.
And that's when this was like when I was like, what is happening in this movie? Like, what is going on? And then shortly after this, we're going to get into like another story. And you're just like, when that happened, you're like, what the fuck am I watching? And it's right here. It's actually this scene right
Fred
here.
Sees a girl that's throwing up.
Because he's trying to get the Viper. He sees a girl puking. And this girl is just so drunk and coming on to Freddy. She's like, I want you all the way.
He must smell so bad.
He looks like he stinks.
She would sober up.
Dude, you would never. Dude, it would be like smelling salt. Like you'd be awake.
Exactly.
You'd be awake. You'd be like, no. This lady happens to be
She's
dating the owner of the restaurant that they're outside of. And we learn that because the owner comes out and is like, where'd my girlfriend go? And this asshole doorman is like, meh.
Hey, forget about it. Like, they're the most stereotypical mafioso guy.
It's so funny.
The guy is such a wise ass to the mafia guy.
Yes. He is later on. He's so.
Did you write down their dialogue? Later on,
end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God, because I didn't, because I was too busy laughing. Like it was so quick and witty,
dude. It was so insane. I couldn't write it all down though, because that kid talks a mile a minute.
He's the most like. Why is that kid not just casting everything as that guy?
I know. It's crazy.
So they go back to the junkyard.
Yep. Freddie takes this.
Freddie's just saying things. He's like, hey, how about a 68? You blow me and all you want.
He's just saying stupid shit. Again, it's just a joke book of like offensive jokes. 68, you blow me and I owe you one. And then he cracks up and she's just sitting there. Also, we're actually at this scene while we're watching it right now, which is funny. One of the weirdest parts, though, is they go into their little tire shire Freddie's going to have sex with this high-class woman, which why would she enter a tire shop? She's like, is this your brother's dealership? They literally have to crawl through tires to get in. And all the other homeless people from like Bronson's gang are crawling around like the cast of the musical Cats. Like it's like purple smoke and they're all like homeless cats. This is honestly probably what Cats should have looked like if it was going to be realistic. I imagine Cats takes place in New York City.
I mean, it has to. Where else do you have so many loose cats?
Just like and none of them speak English. They're all just going.
Yeah, they're all like orgasming on top of each other.
They're just crawling around the junkyard like cats. It's so fucking weird. Freddie and this girl start getting down in front of his brother, who's like sleeping right next to.
Yeah, he's just like throwing things at him to like make him look away.
Dude, and the kid's like, "Come on, Freddie," and Freddie goes. Dude, I was crying. So many scenes in this. Kevin, he goes, oh, the kid's name is Kevin. He goes, Kevin, get out of here. This isn't any place for a fucking boy. Dude, it's their home. This isn't any fucking place for.
He's right.
This isn't any place for a fucking boy.
The dude's ass crack was just so close to the camera.
And then he calls him a fucking voyeur, even though they came into his room while he was sleeping. A really graphic, weird sex scene here, where you just see bum ass and this poor girl like not with it, having sex with this guy, and you just hear homeless people outside just making the grossest zombie noises.
They are like zombies,
yeah, and
because then their hands start reaching.
Yeah, they start tearing the tire wall apart, which I don't know why they hadn't thought of that earlier. And they start tearing it apart, and they drag this poor naked girl out of the tire shire and. Her fate will be determined shortly, but it doesn't look good.
No, certainly doesn't.
From where I'm sitting, this doesn't look good for her. 6 crazed homeless zombies just grabbed her and ripped her out of a tire house. Very weird stuff. We also see a bunch of punks about to light a homeless guy on fire.
Just throwing gasoline on him for no reason.
Yeah, and they're like, we can't wait to light you on fire. But the cops come and stop it.
So excited to light a man on fire.
Imagine saying that.
Oh, the 80s.
Announcing that you can't wait to light somebody on fire. That would be so funny. Yeah, and that's that scene.
Well, they throw so the cop comes and stops the punks from doing that to him.
Because they're going to be their lead to Bronson. This is one of Bronson's right-hand men.
Yeah.
And again, like, we don't need this. Like, you could have just told me.
Yeah, because
that a bum ratted him out.
Then they throw, exactly. They throw him in a paddy wagon with a bunch of prostitutes, and I don't know what's happening.
And this also...
Tell him how bad he smells.
I'm talking over you. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's this long scene of him just looking at prostitutes.
And then being like, man, you fucking stink. And then one being like, you got money, I'll do it.
Yeah. And this also goes along with that weird scene with the guy that was like, I'll lead you to him. So there's like 4 scenes of, and it's like, right? It's like not a bad story. Like they're telling you,
that makes sense
here, but it's just like we don't need it. Like you're talking about a movie about melting people.
This movie is actually showing us legitimate police work, just picking up tips, and like driving around the night trying to find it.
It is if you cut out all the other bullshit and the farts. We go back to the junkyard.
Do the cop punches through
the back?
Grab.
He's like, hey, punches through the window. We go back to the junkyard owner who it just cuts right after that. And we just jump right to the junkyard owner trying to rape this woman.
Trying to rape her. And he goes outside and he like pees his pants and the dog comes and licks it.
Dude, when he's trying to rape this woman, it's playing like slapstick music. It was obscene. Honestly, that was one of the most upsetting parts. Like I just kept writing it. I was like, they need to stop playing this music soon. It's like, and she's like, help me. It was crazy. It was one of the weirdest scenes ever. But yeah, the owner goes outside.
Once the owner goes outside, though, this is like, I think this part's in the trailer. He's just like looking up at the sky. He's like, problem with the wife, problem with the dog. My job sucks. He's like, what a bad day.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit, guy.
Stop being worst. You're the worst. And he spots the dead woman from
the night before.
Yeah. And honestly, one of the grossest dead bodies I've ever seen. Looked way too realistic for me, in my opinion. What do you think? The pallor of the body is so nasty. It's so dead.
Yeah.
It's just so pale and ghastly and just, it's sad. It's kind of fucked up. Like sometimes you see like
so naturally this guy starts laughing.
So hard. And then goes down there.
To have sex
with them. Like, honestly, dude, it made me feel something when I saw it. Like, sometimes you see something, you're like, why do I watch these fucking movies? That's the evidence of a rape and murder. Like, I don't want to see that. And it's just like on the shore, like he has to like go down. It's like along the water's edge and just dead, face down, fucking dead.
Yeah, but then it's a segue to my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Yes. One of the most epic scenes
is mad and he threatens Freddy with a knife.
He grabs Freddy somehow.
Yes.
This is actually when the movie like goes off the rails. Like they explain this cop work in detail, and then all of a sudden Bronson just grabs Freddy, and you're like, what's the frame of reference for this? Why is Freddy over there? Like, why is Bronson like?
What do you mean?
Like, why is Freddy walking around Bronson's turf?
Because he's sleeping in the same junkyard.
But then why wouldn't Bronson went and got his money earlier?
Because Bronson's an idiot.
I guess you're right. Anyway, so you're right. So he's got Freddy pinned.
Yes. And all of a sudden, some little Pinor comes out and starts pissing all over Bronson.
They're like, he's holding Freddy up against this fence. He's about to fucking kill Freddy. He's like, you owe me money. And you just see this guy on the other side of the fence, like typical trauma. And it's like, it's all overdubbed. And it's like, he's just like talking nonsense. And then he just starts pissing. And you just see Bronson's face getting soaked with piss. It's amazing. And he grabs his...
Bronson reaches through, grabs the guy's dick, and just tears it right off. And I think what makes it so funny is the guy's reaction. Like, you know, if you got your dick ripped off, I'm pretty sure you would react very strongly. And the guy's like confused.
He's like and just runs to the other side of the fence.
He's like, who? And then they just play a game of football with this guy's dick.
He throws the dick across the junkyard. Cut off dick. He just chucks it. Some dude catches it and just runs away with it.
And then more people see this, and it's just like shots of just flying dick through the air.
Dude, dicks are flying through.
People are joining in.
And the guy with no dick is just chasing his dick.
It's a game of keep away.
And he's like, get it on ice. Get it on ice, for God's sake. Then one guy gets it and drop kicks it. Just punts it. Punts it across the fucking yard. And Freddy intercepts it. And I think Freddy was like, here's your dick, man. Like he was going to go give it back, but he gets tackled. He fumbles the dick. And somebody else throws it. And finally, the dickless man gets it.
And just hops in the back of a school bus.
And like to me, like it's this. That's what's funny about this movie. So like, I guess you can't complain about the pointless scenes because that was like one of the most pointless scenes. But I love it. You want it.
One of
right?
the best scenes I've ever seen.
Right. Exactly. It's like one of the funniest things. Just like the shopping thing. What did that have to do with the movie?
Nothing.
None of these things have anything.
But I'll talk about them forever.
Yes, exactly. And like that's where you wonder, like, what is a good movie? Like, is a 5-star movie a movie that you will tell everyone about? Because I will tell anyone that'll listen about Street Trash.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if we had seen this while you were in college, dude, we would have talked about it every time we saw each other.
So if I liked it, like this is the type of movie where I loved in my 30s,
Yeah.
but I know that I would have loved when I was a teenager and I would have loved in college.
Shown anyone.
Yeah.
I would have brought a girl back and been like, you want to see something weird?
Yes.
And they wouldn't have called me back. Which is not surprising, but whatever. So yeah. We get more. We get a set of dialogue between Nick Duran, who's the mobster, whose girlfriend's dead, the doorman, and the cop. Good dialogue, but nothing really to know.
The dialogue's so funny. Calls him the Don of douchebags.
Don of douchebags.
And the Don's like, you motherfucker.
Dude. The Don is doing it perfect, though. I love it. I love, like, the writing is so good on it. Because this guy
You are so fucking dead.
like, even though he's over the top mobster, right? He's like totally over the top, overdone completely.
Yeah.
He's still playing it cool. Like they're getting interrogated, and this little fucking doorman is just running his mouth so much, just running it nonstop. And this guy's just going, "You little fucking rat, you motherfucking rat." And then I loved it because then the cop was like, like, I don't have any control of this guy once you leave, right? And he's like, I thought there was witness protection. The guy's like, So it kind of sets up this guy's fucked. Like once they leave, this doorman's dead. And now this is when it gets real weird. Freddy is approached by a fucking mob hitman.
Yes. In a bathroom.
Why?
Because the mobster figured out that he took his girl.
How would you ever figure out?
It's the mob, man.
Because honestly, and there is a scene that explains it, and it's like, oh, it was that homeless guy with a beard. Because there's not 8 million of them in New York City in the 80s. Like, are you kidding me right now? And then the cop shows up to save Freddy, and they just have a fucking fist fight that is so poorly choreographed. It is the worst part of the movie because they are just like, it is so bad. It's so fucking bad, but it's so amazing too. My note here is, I don't know what's happening, but I think the stories are starting to converge.
They are.
The stories are so disjointed at this point that you're like we're making it a little bit more sense because we know the end game. Right. But like when you're watching this, you're like, who are these people? What does this have to do with anything? Like the mob's involved. Now there's hitmen.
Yes.
Like then the cop has like an altercation with the mob boss and is like, you told me like, dude, it is a straight cop movie in those scenes. Mm-hmm. Like he throws the gun in his window and he's like, you said you weren't going to take it to the streets. Like it's like a legitimate police movie.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to a dick being thrown around a yard. It's the weirdest movie. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's so seamless too. Like it's so good. It's so good. There's 800 things happening.
Yeah. And then it cuts to the brothers fighting for some reason.
Dude, they just start fighting for no reason.
And then it cuts to the cop and the Vietnam vet having a showdown.
The cop just shows up in Bronson's
after
yard.
already kicking somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Goes up for another fight.
Yes. And
picks the woman up over his head. Throws her.
Then I'm pretty sure Bronson throws the woman too. It's his girlfriend. I think he like picks her up and chucks her too. Tons of body slams. And Bronson starts strangling this guy and it's lights out for the cop.
Dude, the junkyard owner looked like Booger Bastion.
Bastion Booger.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Very. Are you sure it's not him?
No, but is it?
It might be.
It can't be.
I don't know. It looks just like him though. But so Bronson kills this cop by strangling him to death. And like you actually like that cop.
Yeah.
Like he
was just doing his job.
Yeah, like, and he
trying
was
to
all
solve
about
crime.
He was not like an asshole cop. Like he was like, I want this guy off the streets. And then Bronson pisses on him while whistling taps. It is one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen in a movie in my entire life. Pissing on a cop that you just murdered while whistling taps. Holy shit. Holy shit.
And actually, this is the part where I was like, when are people going to start melting again? But it's like they heard my answer because it happens like 5 minutes.
A homeless guy it just cuts to a homeless guy walking
Going back
to the
to
liquor
that store.
And he goes,
And their dialogue is so funny.
dude, fuck you. Give me a bottle of booze. Here's my $1. Suck my dick. I wrote, what is this movie?
That store owner must be so miserable. Imagine every day you open shop and somebody comes and tells you suck.
But that's why it's perfect New York, right? Like, how many times do you go to New York and you like every time you go to New York, you see an incident like this and you're like, why is that guy like not beating the shit out of this guy?
Because it happens every day.
It happens every day.
And he's just taking their money.
That's what this guy is. This guy's just like Paul facing everybody. He's just like, whatever, man. Whatever the fuck you want. Like, just buy your shit. Get the fuck out of here. And that guy actually that says that is Freddie. Freddie's all bent out of shape because he got into the fight with his brother. And then of course
He goes, go fuck your dog, Ed.
Dude, yeah, that line was so funny. You know who that guy looks like, that homeless guy? He looks like the fucking guy who plays Joker. Jared Leto.
I think so?
Yeah, kind of.
I'll have to see him again.
There's so many like doppelgangers. Everyone felt familiar to me. It was so weird.
Yeah.
Like, it was really weird. So another bum. Another bum steals his fucking Viper again. This poor guy. Well, I mean, I guess it's good for him, but
no,
he doesn't steal it. He had his own.
No, that's the dickhead that like beat him up in the beginning,
Right.
and he tricks him into stealing it. Like he wants.
No.
Steal it.
Well, first we see the big fat guy that turns into Augustus Goop. Because he's like sitting next to Freddie and they both have it.
That's
right.
And
he drinks it and just starts.
Sorry.
He's
getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yes.
And Freddie jumps and hides under a car and he explodes.
That's right.
It was amazing.
His gut exploding. Like, that one's stuck.
Yeah. And Freddie, of all people, figures out that the liquor is what's killing people and melting people.
Which I don't even think he knows the other people died.
No. But he just is like, whoa, this is it.
Put 2 and 2 together.
I almost wish he gave it to this other bum like we're about to see, and then the guy was fine. He's like, uh-oh.
The old switcheroo.
Yeah. But he figures out they're killing him. Then this asshole homeless guy that's been like beating the shit out of him all movie just like finds him and like kicks him in the ass and stuff.
His name's Wizzy.
Yeah. He tricks him by reverse psychology. He's like, don't take my booze.
Yeah.
Because he knows it's going to kill this guy. His name's Wizzy. Dude, they never said that until this scene.
I know.
And it's one of the most disgusting melting scenes.
Yes.
Ever. He
Barfing up blue shit.
Dude, it's so fucking vile. It's so gross. Now Freddie is like, I got to go tell Ed that this shit's killing people. Like, I got to go let him know. And for some reason,
Ed drinks.
Ed has been every scene that they showed Ed, he's like, look at this bullshit. Probably tastes like dick. And like, he's like putting it out. He's like, I'm just going to feed it to the
Probably
homeless.
because he finally cracked. Because every day some bum comes in and tells him to fuck himself.
Every day a bum comes in and tells him to get a job. And Ed drinks it and blood starts shooting out of his ears, out of his nose, every orifice it's coming out of, and it's fucking vile.
Yes.
It's vile. This movie is so good. Back at the the junkyard, a random scene where the woman gives herself to the junkyard boy.
Yep. Freddie's brother.
Again, very weird. Like, it's very weird. Like, and the kid's like, oh, whatever, it's gross. But thank God it's interrupted by Bronson, who's fucking furious. He's so mad.
It's true. It's a great, best way to describe it.
Dude, he's so pissed. He just busts in and is like, what the fuck? There's no business there. It was crazy. Yeah, it was fucking crazy. he starts chasing the kid, kills some innocent dude. Bronson just finds some guy and stabs him.
It's a pretty elaborate chase scene, right?
It's very elaborate. It's not bad. It's just there's just nothing to say. He's just chasing this kid.
Yeah, that's it. And then Freddy shows up.
Yeah, it's a back and forth chase. And then, but the line, Bronson, fucking little street trash. Dude, I love this movie. Dude. Because I'm not street trash, I can't call homeless people street trash, but I wish I could.
Jesus.
Not in a negative way. It's a cool name.
You compliment them.
It's a cool
It's fucking street trash.
Fucking little fucking street trash. I don't know. I just thought that scene was so fucking cool. Little fucking street trash. I don't know. Why am I rooting for Bronson?
I don't know.
Freddy shows up, throws a bottle of Viper at his head. It breaks. It barely does much. Just kind of melts the side of his face. Again, this movie was crazy because, first of all, I loved Bronson's reaction. He's like, "What the fuck did you just throw at me? Like, what is this?" Like, total perfect normal reaction.
Yeah.
But then he just starts going, "Dead maggot shit." Dead maggot shit? He ends up with a question mark. It was so weird. It was so bizarre. Why is he? I don't know why he was screaming that. Bronson is fucking Freddy up, and his brother aims this gas canister, pressurized, propane tank, knocks off the head of it with a rock. It goes flying like a missile. And you're expecting it probably to knock off his head for it to be really brutal or whatever, but you're expecting it. It was one of the most amazing special effects I've ever seen because it doesn't just knock his head off. They did it like right in between his chest.
Yeah.
It does knock his head clear off.
We haven't really praised we have indirectly. The special effects in this movie are really
amazing.
Good.
Amazing. And it knocks the upper half of his body off. But the way they do it is so incredible. You see his 3D torso just torn up. And then the upper half of his body's on the ground, but still alive somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but it's insane. It's insane. And then the girl steps over him and how is this not a trauma movie? I don't understand. Lloyd Kaufman had to be involved. He had to have been involved. I feel like Lloyd is the Don of weird New York shit cinema.
Sure.
He had to have been you had to go kiss his ring. And he's like, "Let me tell you how to make this. You need more farts in this scene." You see this scene where the guy's ass is near that guy's face? Just throw a fart in. They don't need to know. They don't even need to react.
That's true.
You just dub it and then dub some guy being like, "Oh, P.U." Weird shit in the background. Yeah. And that's it, man. The screen just flashes street trash one more time. You think it's the end.
No.
Marvel Cinematic Universe. Street trash cinematic universe.
Cuts to the stool pigeon tied up with two goons around him.
And Nick Duran, the mob boss, is there.
He's just wasting so much time.
Dude, they're just
fucking get you good.
He's like, "I'm gonna fuck you up, you piece of shit." Dude, the doorman, he is tied up. He's about to be murdered. And even still, he's like, "Hey man, I was just kidding. I wasn't gonna do that." Hey, he's like, "I love that dish." He's like, because the guy's like, "You told the cops that I didn't know chicken from dog shit or something." And he's like, "Oh, I was just kidding, man. I love your dish." He's like, "I love that dish. I eat it all the time. I ate it that night. Yeah, the night your girlfriend got raped and murdered." It was insane. He was saying that so nonchalantly.
The way this actor just delivers his lines are absolutely perfect because he's so fluent. He's like an auctioneer. Just rapid fire.
Nonstop. They're about to kill him, but they find a bottle of Viper in his coat pocket. Of course, Nick Duran takes it and drinks it and melts off screen, but we just see the reaction of the doorman and his two goons.
And he's still running his mouth, and he's telling the goons, "I'm the Don now. Go give me his shoes. Give me his ring."
He goes, "Kiss you prick. It's dripping down the stairs." He talks shit nonstop.
And then it ends with the Italians singing the theme song.
It ends with Mr. Duran singing a song about himself. It was one of the craziest things of all time. How does that happen?
I don't know. It was fantastic. What an ending.
Who comes up with that idea?
Nick Duran.
Holy shit. It's unbelievable, dude. Like, how do you even come up with this idea for a movie? That's my question. I've got two questions. How do you come up with this idea? Like, you want to say like drugs, but even if you're on drugs, I could never be like, okay,
Dude, he
they
probably
find
drank.
alcohol.
No, one of the guys probably drank nitrate and had like the most terrible diarrhea because that's what it would do to you. It was like, yeah, it was like, imagine, and then the idea just dawned on him.
But then where did the rest of the stories go?
Well, you know, drugs.
Would you? Let's say they make a Street Trash remake.
No.
Nah, I think
I'm not for it. Not
for it either.
It was made at the right time.
It was made at the right time. Somehow this cast is perfect. Sorry, we're watching Street Trash and we just watched a police officer body slam a woman into a wall. These fight scenes are unbelievable.
But yeah, I wouldn't want it remade because it was, like I said,
you can't
New
do
York
it.
at that
You
time.
can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine they remake it like they remake like the way they've done like Texas Chainsaw and like Nightmare on Elm Street. Like it's like super clean and like a group of teens. A group of teens helps a homeless man.
And then during this scene, the woman would throw the pipe to him and go, "Do your thing, cuz."
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. I would actually watch it. So gross. They're so dirty. It's so disgusting. All right. That's the end of this episode. Thank you guys all so much for listening to the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're doing crazy shit now, man. We got a live show. October 14th, maybe, if Joe can make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bunch of cool stuff coming up. Hopefully some other shows before then we got in the works, so we'll see. But yeah, we thank you guys so much. The best way to help us, rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. And if you do, email me, Sean@IHateHorror.com, and I'll send you some free stickers. Who doesn't love free stickers? If you can support monetarily, patreon.com/IHateHorror. That's the best way if you want to donate monetarily. It's like a monthly donation site, but you could just do it for a month or whatever. You choose the amount and all that. What else do we do? Facebook.com/IHateHorror. IHateHorror.com has links to everywhere you can listen to us and find us on social media now. I updated the site. It's just simple. And what else? Oh, I'm on Twitter at IHateHorrorShow, Instagram and Snapchat at IHateHorror.
I'm at JoV421, Boognish1985, and Horror Show Joe.
And seriously, guys, follow us. We have a blast talking to you guys. We have a lot of fun on Twitter and stuff. So follow us, message us. We don't care. We like talking to you. Most of you. Some of you. Whatever. But yeah, we really appreciate it, guys. And I think that's it. Next week, Bad Taste, Peter Jackson.
Yes.
Speaking of hobbits, Frodo Trashbaggins. Holy
all comes
shit.
together.
All right. So go watch Bad Taste. Go watch Street Trash. Any way you can.
Yes.
Purchase it. Do whatever you need to do.
I think it's on YouTube.
Yes. But if you really want to see it gross, if you really want to vomit, check it out on Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray is very good.
Anyway, that's it. So take care. So for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.